Hey, what's going on, everyone? On this Saturday, June the 30th, right? That's it, the last day of June. That's it, the last day of June. It's gone. How is everyone doing, huh? Well, I'm doing this podcast on Saturday because I'm just taking it easy. I went out yesterday. Well, first I had a dinner with my sister in this place that I found on Google near Union Square. Oh man, that place is so fucking amazing. It's huge, like it's huge. It's like a dating place plus a restaurant and all that, right? So we had dinner, and then I drove back, and then while I was driving back to my place, um, I was calling one of the colleagues, from another company that he works with. And I called him and I asked him, "Hey, listen, what's going on? What are you up to?" He was like, "I just got into the car and I was going to just drive back to Queens. That's where he lives." I'm like, "All right, well, listen, I'm in Union Square, and if you want to meet up for a drink, maybe since I'm driving, so I have to leave my car in the parking lot. So maybe after that we can have a drink." He's like, "Yeah, all right." So we met up, and then one of his friends, actually, a lady friend, actually, somehow we bumped into her, and then she basically came with us. We basically went bar hopping to like in two or three bars, but it was kind of late. So it was late, and this morning I was like, I mean, I didn't have a hangover or anything. I mean, I woke up around like 11 o'clock. But it was a little too late. I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning when I left the goddamn bar. But I was fine. I took the Uber. It's like 10 minutes away. And then I was asking the other guy, because one of his colleagues actually came with him. And at some point in time, he disappeared from the bar, the second bar. And then the colleague said, "Hey, oh man, because this is the first time we were together." I'm like, "What happened?" I thought he went because he was sitting next to me, right at the bar, and I thought that he went to the bathroom, you know. And then we looked in the bathroom, we looked outside. He's gone. He's gone. He's fucking disappeared. So he probably took the Irish exit. I don't know what happened. Um, but yeah, we had a great time. Other than that, we had a great time. Uh, but I'm not doing that like until 3 o'clock in the morning. I guess because we started late. By the time we decided upon which bar to go to, right, it was close to like 10 o'clock. So I guess we started late, but even then, I think it was just too much. I think, yeah, I'm not doing that fucking late like bars and all that, man. Nah, I'm too old for that. So at some point in time, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go home. Fuck. Yeah, that's what I did. That's exactly what I did. Um, and I think I actually my phone somehow fell because I see a very small crack in the screen, which kind of sucks. I don't know. I think I dropped it on the sidewalk or something like that. See, this is exactly why you have to have a proper protector. I mean, it's not affecting anything. It's working fine. But I think I dropped it on the sidewalk or something like that. And I have this, as you can see, you can see there's no cracks, right? But if you look closer, there is a very small crack. There is a very small crack. Oh, wait a minute. It's gone? No, no, right here, right here. Okay. As you can see, right here, right? Right here is the crack. It's very small, like it's like minute, as you can see, right? It's very minute, you can see, but it's not affecting my phone, but it's still a crack in the goddamn screen. So that was kind of bad, although I can still use this. I think I'm gonna buy a better case because if you drop this, let's say on the sidewalk, right, or you drop it even on the floor, right, you gotta make sure that the screen does not hit the sidewalk directly. You know, wherever you drop it. So I think that's why I need a better case. So yeah, other than that, we had a great time, and so here I am. I had invited the guys I told you from where I come from, but they couldn't make it tonight. Which then I was telling them that it's actually better for me because I need a break because I was out until late, so I need to, I need to take it easy, and that's what I'm doing, and I'm just doing my podcast. Yeah. How is everyone doing? So yeah, and today actually I had to go to a job site because I had told my office manager to put it on the schedule. Last time I couldn't make it, so this time I did make it, and so I'm gonna put together a proposal for that, and that's it. That's it. I'm just I did some cooking, by the way. I cooked a great salmon, a sautéed salmon with some like herbs and garlic and coriander and all that. And then I actually did cook rice, basmati rice. The best way to actually cook rice is in microwave. That's the best. 12 minutes in microwave, depending on the quantity, right? 12 to 15 minutes in microwave. And it was perfect. It's perfect. And then I sauteed, asparagus a little bit. And then I had that with like a half a glass of wine that I had. I think it was a Cabernet. Yeah, it turned out, that food turned out really, really great, by the way. So I was working, again, I went to the job site and then I was working for half an hour in my home office here, and yeah, my ex-girlfriend, we had planned to actually do something today at my place, but I guess she took it easy as well, and I'm taking it easy as well. So you gotta take a break. You gotta take a break sometimes. It's good to be out and about with your dude friends and all that, but sometimes you have to. Once you do that, then the next day you don't want to party again. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. So I'm just doing my podcast. What's going on? God damn it, man! Just June is gone. June is gone. July is in. Am I singing? I'm not a singer. Well, I mean, I produce some songs, which you can actually look up on SoundCloud. On the fly, I used to do that back in the day when I was so much inspired to be a musician, when I didn't have real skills. I really didn't pursue it. Whatever, the way you take it, right? Same thing with cooking. I mean, when I cook, I thoroughly enjoy cooking. I actually like the home cooked meals better. Who doesn't, right? I mean, you cook the stuff that you like, and you know how to do that. That's the best thing to do. That's the best thing to do. You know how to do it, and that's the best thing to do, right? Exactly. All right. Oh, by the way, I saw the highlights of the soccer, right? Soccer match. So these were first two matches of the round of 16, right? Group of 16, which is the knockout round. The knockout round means that um, you can play like 2 or 3 games to get points and then get into quarterfinals. You just get knocked out, just like what happened with goddamn Portugal. So basically, they were knocked out by is that France? No, France was against Argentina. So who played against Portugal? Hold on a second, ladies and gents. Um, today's matches, right? Today's matches. Here we go. Why would Google want? Why would Google want to see my location? God damn it. Okay, match. So you go to goal.com, right? Oh, Uruguay. So Uruguay, oh man, that was a fucking brutal game. Like, and Ronaldo, one of the best soccer players or football players, as the Europeans said. And we Americans, we call it soccer because our football is played with our hands for most part. So Uruguay versus Portugal, and then Ronaldo was at the end of the game, right? So when the referee announces that, all right, this is it, 95 minutes, and Uruguay won, 2-1. I mean Uruguay 2, Portugal 1, and and uh, um, and so Ronaldo was like, he was so pissed. He looked so pissed at the end, right? And I was talking to the guys on WhatsApp, and I was like, he probably just like walked into a fucking bar and just like fucking drank his ass off, right? But apparently they actually just, they got on a bus and then just got on to the airplane and just they went back home to Portugal, right? Portugal, 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 Portugal. So yeah, so that's soccer, and then the other game, France versus Argentina. I think Argentina fucked it up. You know why? Argentina's defense sucks. Argentina's defense absolutely sucks. I mean, they have good attackers like Messi and all that, and I don't want to go on and on about soccer on my podcast because this is not a sports podcast, right? But since I'm interested in soccer because soccer is what I used to play. I grew up with soccer, in mountains. Um, so yeah, Argentinian defense sucks. Like they are fucking horrible. Not that they are, but they have been in this World Cup. I don't follow like other leagues and all that, like European bullshit leagues, right? But in World Cup 2018, they are oh man, their defense fucking sucks. Their defense fucking sucks, and who do they have in the front lines? Messi and who else? I don't know. I don't know the fucking name. But it was an interesting game. Their defense sucked, and the goalie he was horrible, man. He was fucking horrible. But in any case, so they were going, they were all over the place, but they couldn't win. So there you go. So France is in, Uruguay is in, Portugal's out, and Argentina is out. Right? There you go. So that's my comment on soccer. So let's just move on. Right? Right. How is everyone doing? Yeah? Good? How is your Saturday night going, huh? Are you out and about? Are you on a date? I might have a possible date tomorrow. I don't know. That may be why I'm doing this podcast on a Saturday night. Well, yeah, one for that reason, and the other one, I'm just taking it easy on Saturday. I went out last night. I was out at like, I don't know, 2:50 at least, like 2:30. And then I called an Uber, I came home, and then I just like crashed into bed. That's what I did. Yeah, during the past week, I had a great date actually with a lady, and it was great. Went to dinner, and then she came over, and yeah, so it is what it is. You are a heterosexual male, and you are attracted to females, and you go on dates, right? Exactly. So, but at some point in time, I think I'm going to be a little more serious about my relationship situation. And I was actually, at the restaurant where I was having dinner with my sister. So I was kind of flirting with the with one of the managers there. What was her name? I forgot her name. I don't want to call the names, but she was kind of beautiful. She was like what, Mexican and Guatemalan, one of those, right? And she was wearing this like short skirt. Man, oh my goodness, dude, holy shit! You got not only, I mean, if you guys are dudes, right? Not only because of that, but check it out because that place is huge. Like that place is like it's like the epicenter. I mean, Union Square is kind of the epicenter to an extent of New York, right? Manhattan. Um, so that's like where you can actually do your happy hours company. I think I'm gonna do my company's happy hour there next time when we do our happy hour. Because this place is huge. Like, oh my goodness, high ceilings. They built that place so fucking amazingly beautiful, and the food was great too. I had like, what did I have? I had like bass, like uh, um, Pacific, like some bass, like fish. Um, Although it came with tuna, and I don't like tuna. But yeah, it was great. It was great. My sister, I think she ordered a burger and beer. I'm like, what? I mean, this is like a typical American. I didn't think that you were actually into burgers and beer. She was like, yeah, no, I just felt like. Well, I guess because the weather was like kind of like hot, yesterday and today as well. Actually, I was driving and when I parked my car right here on the street because Saturday, Sunday you can park, right? But then tomorrow night I'm going to put it back into my parking lot because Monday morning I'll get a ticket if I don't do that, right? So that place is great. So I was trying to, I don't know, I was like kind of flirting with her, that lady, one of the managers, I guess, because she was passing by, our table, and I was like, hey, so you gonna buy me a drink? I go like, you gonna buy me a drink? She's like, well, give me a reason for me to buy you a drink. And I'm like, my sister was looking at me like, and smiling, and I'm like, I can give you 1,000 reasons for you to buy me a drink. And she was smiling. She laughed, and like, my sister was like, I don't ignore him, like, and then she was like, she went to it, right? I mean, what can you do? You are a heterosexual male. Again, I'm repeating myself. But New York has one of the best, like, one of the most beautiful looking women. Um, Although it can be too much sometimes. So you have to pick and choose, sir. Um, I think it's the same for women. They probably feel the same, but I think women are more like they're not like men, where we men we just pursue and flirt. Well, I guess that's not true. That's not true, sir. Women flirt too. I mean, I mean, if you're a woman in a place like New York, and you're at a bar or a restaurant, and you see some guy and you like him, and I mean, well, I shouldn't say flirt, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that somehow women sort of like oppress their emotions and pretend like they are actually are not going to start the fire, as in like striking a conversation, and they want the guy to actually do that. I mean, these are the traditional like male versus female, dynamics, dating dynamics, whatever the hell you call them, right? What the hell, dude? I'm not an expert on that, but I'm just telling you. It is what it is, and some women love that. And if you're a guy, I mean, and if you are single, and what can you do? That's like that's like practice. That's what I was telling my sister, and she was like, "No," she was like, she kept telling me, "You gotta focus. You gotta focus. You gotta focus, and you need a relationship that's like more like you know like permanent, and you can't date like 24 years olds." And I'm like, why not? Isn't that perfect? But in any case, so I don't want to go on and on about that one, right? But my sister's great, and I bought her a book by Michael Pollan, which I forgot to give it to her, and I was texting her that I'm gonna give it to you when we meet next time, right? Yeah, yeah, she's great. My sister's great. Um, what else? Yeah, so I was watching, as usual I do, Bill Maher's show today, which he does Friday nights, right? Yeah, he does Friday nights. So he brought in this conservative commentator, what the hell his name is, Ben Shapiro, right? His first guest. He does like maybe 6 minutes with him after his monologue, and then he had I don't know, I forgot the names, except that I remember Michael Moore. Remember the filmmaker Michael Moore? He made, I don't know, God damn it, I can't remember what the fuck he made, but they were talking about like Trump, and now he's meeting Putin, the summit, and, everything is everything is revolving around Trump, and so I mean it's an interesting show. Bill Maher kind of like he's like somehow like me, that I actually don't give a shit about taking sides, but he's democratic, because now Trump is in the office, so now he's like, you know what? I'm democratic, huh? Well, I'm on the side of the truth, and I don't want to talk about politics. I want to stay away from politics as much as I can on my podcast. Although it's very hard to do, it's very hard to do. There are a lot of issues that affect people's lives. And apparently there were marches. I was listening to NPR, as I always do. There were marches against Trump administration for separating the families, which is kind of bullshit. Again, it all goes back to this whole thing, the idea with people crossing the borders because with their children, many of them, I believe, I'm not an expert on this, so don't quote me on this, but many of them do that because they are fleeing from like violence in countries like Honduras and Guatemala, and I think I mentioned that in my last podcast. So somehow they should be given refugee status, like a woman with her real child crosses the border and she says, "Listen, I can't go back because there's violence. I can't live there." Uh, but I guess there has to be a due process, and then that fucking due process is the most bureaucratic due process, and that's why we have this bullshit immigration policy in this country uh, that needs a big reform, huge reform. It needs our immigration policy in this country needs a huge fucking reform, huge. I hope Trump understands that at some point in time and works on that instead of like building a goddamn wall down there, you know? What the fuck, dude? But in any case, it's already 26 minutes, ladies and gents, and every other gender associates. Yeah, so I was, I woke up late, obviously. I was out last night. Yeah, that was kind of too late, man. I'm not gonna fucking do that again. But it was fun. It was fun to, like, talk to people, just be out there with your dude friends. And we had a lady friend too who was there. But doing it late, that's where I had to, like, draw the line. God damn, what the hell? What the hell? You know? So, yeah, it wasn't too far, so I could even walk, but I think I didn't walk. I just took an Uber, right? Because it was kind of late, like 3 o'clock in the morning, where the fuck it was, right? And yeah, so I woke up and then I watched Star Trek Enterprise Season 2, and I was actually looking up the seasons, right, on Wikipedia. Obviously, everything goes into goddamn Wikipedia, right? So Star Trek Enterprise has four seasons. I think I'm gonna just watch the 4th season. You know why? Because those fucking seasons, the other from 1 to 3 seasons are very old, like 2001 until 2003 or something like that. So I think tomorrow morning, if I'm watching, let's say, Star Trek Enterprise, right? Then I'm gonna watch season 4. That's it, and then I'm gonna move on to something else, right? I mean, obviously, I'm into space travel saga movies. Space saga, is that the term? Space space action, yeah, space action movies and futuristic, spaceships and all that. Obviously, I'm an engineer, so I'm into that. And I'm pretty sure many of you are too, right? Even if you are not an engineer, or a scientist, or an astrophysicist, right? Yeah, I also listen to Star Trek Radio by Neil deGrasse Tyson. He is a great astrophysicist. He does his own, show, Star Trek Radio, obviously. So I watched the 2 episodes. I think they were interesting. Season 2. I think I watched the 6th or 7th episode, both of them, where Jonathan Archer and his security guy, right? They go down to this goddamn like pre-war like civilization. No spoiler alerts, but it's a fucking old show. So who gives a shit? So they go down there and these pre-war like just like Nazis, like they're just like Nazis, right? Pre World War II civilization, like something like in Germany, where if the captain of Starship Enterprise were to go down there and I know what it was. They went down there and then they just wanted to like interact with the locals pretending as locals, because the whole theme of Star Trek after the Vulcans actually found Earthlings as us. I mean, in the fictional movie, and that in the fictional world of Star Trek, after we actually mastered, to actually travel in space. I mean, right now we are still fighting each other. So, I mean, how long it has been since World War II? It's like not even 100 years, right? So, so the whole premise of Star Trek is that you explore, but especially with worlds and planets where there are higher forms of life, but they are not as advanced as you are. You're not supposed to let them know that you actually were there. So you're not supposed to like contaminate their their culture, their whatever the hell it is, right? So you're supposed to like not leave any trace behind. So that's, you get my point? It's like Burning Man, like you're not supposed to leave any trace behind. Is that the right analogy that I used? I don't know. No, but you get my point, right? The whole point of the scientific evolution, including space travel and all that, is that the more advanced civilizations, the more advanced you become, you let the other civilizations flourish on their own. If they need you, you help them in a very indirect way, where you don't intrude into their culture and all that, right? Like if there's a war going on, maybe you can stop it. But if it's just like normal way of life on a planet which is just evolving, in technology and also their mindset and them coming out of the monkey mind. And I think that's the whole premise. There you go. I don't want to go on and on about this, but I like that show. It's interesting. Obviously, that's the ultimate for like human beings. I think that you get to a point where you have developed the technology to actually explore other worlds, right? With warp speed 5 or 4, which is like 4 times the speed of light, or 5 times the speed of light, right? Is that what it is? There you go. So I said it. Us human beings on this planet, we are not there yet. Vulcans have deduced, discovered us. That's just fictional, unfortunately. We only have a very like crummy looking International Space Station up there in the lower or higher orbit, and it looks like space junk to me, to be honest with you. In any case, I'm pretty sure you all relate to what I'm talking about. Um, um, yeah, so here I am on a Saturday. I'm doing this my podcast. I got a great topics. Not a lot of them this time, but some great ones that I usually find on news websites, CNN Money or CNN or BBC or other sources, Wall Street Journal or Space.com or ScienceDaily.com or whatever stimulates your brain, right? There you go. Yeah, so I was also watching some movies. I think I was watching. Oh yeah, I was talking about Jurassic Park, right? Is that in my? I think I talked about that last time, right? Didn't I? Huh? Yeah, I think I did. Last time I talked about that in my podcast. How is everyone doing, huh? Having fun? Huh? Yeah, I had too much fun last night, man. God damn it. I had to like set a limit. Like if I'm going out, I usually don't do that. You know, I usually get home by like midnight. Fuck it, man. Who cares? You know, I will take an Irish. I usually don't take. I mean, I used to take the Irish exit, but this guy did last night, and he just disappeared. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Where'd he go? Is he all right? But he's all right. You know, he's a grown-up man. Um, but last night, yeah, I was out, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? I need to just fucking go home, and that's what I did. Yeah, I usually be home by like midnight, you know. But I guess we started really late. I mean, like 10 o'clock. We started late, so it became like you know like it's not that we ended up in a nightclub or anything like that. It's just that we were just talking at the bar, you know, like just talking, and the time goes by, and that's what happened. I'm not doing that again. Fuck that. But in any case, we had fun. I mean, it was fun, you know. Um, what else is going on, huh? Yeah, so we have a heat wave apparently. I was actually thinking to actually drive up to a Westchester, but then I had plans to invite the guys, and then I had to go to the you know to the job site, and so it's kind of late, and so I said, you know what, I'm just going to take it easy. Plus, you know, I went up last night, and am I repeating myself? I think I'm repeating myself, but repeating yourself is okay, sir. All right, that was my old man moment. Um, yeah, I got a. Oh shit! It's 10:18 p.m. on a Saturday. It's all right. I mean, you know, I don't have to get up early. I can get up any time I want. Well, I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to go on and on because I also want to watch a movie. You know, I also want to watch the highlights again. July 15th, I think I have invited the guys for the soccer final. You know, Sunday. I think we're gonna watch the recorded. Recorded? Is that how you say it? Recorded or recorded? Recorded, sir. Recorded. Recorded. What is that, Boston accent? I don't know. I'm not from Boston. I've never lived there, so I don't have a Boston accent. I do have an accent, but it's not Boston or New York or one of those cities, right? So, but I think I'm going to drive up to Westchester on Wednesday, which is July the 4th. And I told my friend she and I dated for some time. I mean, brief period of time. We're gonna go there like in the morning, and then we're gonna come back on in the evening. So she's gonna drive because I'm not gonna be driving. She doesn't drink hardly like one drink because I know that if I go there, let's say we get there by noon or 1 o'clock, right? And then we you know do like a little camping on you know by Hudson, and then I know we're gonna go to a bar, and even if I'm drinking like two or three drinks, I'm pretty good. I'm usually pretty good at like drinking and driving, but that's not a good thing to say. You don't want to do that. See, this is exactly why I told these guys yesterday. Listen, come to my neighborhood because I have to. I'm driving and I have to put the car in my parking lot, and that's what I did. I put the parking lot in my car. Huh? What? I mean, I put my car in the parking lot, and then I met up with him, and then you know, and then it was like until 3 o'clock in the morning until I came home. Until the cows come home, right? until the roosters come home to roost. What does that even fucking mean? Like, roosters come home to roost? To have sex with, like, hens? Is that what it is? I don't know. But it's already 40 minutes, so I want to get into my cheat sheet, right? The first topic, I hope everyone is doing fine, and I hope everyone is having a good time. Wow, that was a rhyme, sir. I hope everyone is doing fine, and I hope everyone is having a good time, right? That's like rhyming. Holy shit. Alright, my first topic in my cheat sheet is Solo's blaster auction in New York City. God damn it, dude. That fucking thing, right? Han Solo's blaster from the original series, remember that? Original trilogy of Star Wars. Apparently, it went on auction for over $450,000. What the fuck, dude? That fucking thing is made of mostly wood. Okay, it's fake, obviously, right? But I guess it's a Star Wars relic. I mean, the movie's relic, not the Star Wars. There's no such thing as Star Wars. No star is on the war with another, I don't know, star or galaxy or another star system. So apparently, the blaster, if you guys remember, he used that against Dark Vader, right? Dark Vader, Darth Vader, yeah, and then and he used it obviously against the Stormtroopers, right? Exactly. So yeah, that fucking thing went. That fucking thing was bought in auction for over $450,000. You guys can look it up, and I'm pretty sure you can find it on any news site, right? I'm not gonna do that for you because I'm just being lazy, and you shouldn't be lazy either, right? Look it up. You Star Wars fans out there, etc., etc. But if I had that much of money, would I do that? I don't know. Maybe I would. Because maybe in 10 years from now, maybe that fucking thing is like $1 million, right? Or even more. Who knows? Who fucking knows? My next topic is Michael Pollan, right? Michael Pollan is an amazing author. Actually, I bought his recent book that he wrote, How to Change Your Mind, what the new science of psychedelics teaches us about consciousness, dying, addiction, depression, and transcendence. So I bought this for my sister, so I had to give it to her. I mean, the topics that he talks about, right? Before I had my first psychedelic experience, I did a lot of research, and I already know what he's talking about from Stanislav Graf and the grow experiments down in Maryland. University of Maryland experiments of people at the end of their lives given LSD just to calm them down, or giving them this experience of like ego dissolution, which is actually apparently maybe or might be what the actual death means, that your ego, you let go of everything, and that's the death, right? Is that what it is? Nobody knows what death is. But so I have read a lot of books on psychedelics. I've done a lot of research, and but he talks about like future of psychedelics, and I think I mentioned this in my last podcast, that psychedelics may have a greater role, not in a sense of hippie movement in the 60s and 70s, but in science and medical science especially, because psychedelics have been experimented by medical community to address addictions, depression, even PTSD. I think to an extent. So I think us human beings shying away from psychedelics because psychedelics are just a drug may actually be changing now. I think it doesn't have to be a moment where Timothy Leary fucked it up, or it doesn't have to be a political moment. Just to deal with depression, people with addictions, people with PTSD, and cause these are things which are very prevalent, especially in American society, including opioid addictions. So maybe psychedelics are the answers to I mean, a possible answer to deal with this. But in any case, so I don't want to go on about this, but you guys can actually read his book. I'm going to give this to my sister, and she already said thanks to me. I didn't told her, or I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her what book I had bought for her, but she is, she has just had a very life-changing experience in which I don't want to disclose personal information, but she had an acute form of malaria last year, and it just still gives me so much sadness that unfortunately she had to go through that without any fault of hers. But I guess this is how life teaches you. In any case, so she's perfectly fine now, and I think she's much happier that she actually has rejoiced in coming back to life. I mean, that's exactly was kind of the experience she had to go through. And she's one of my greatest sisters. All my sisters are great. My brother too, my family, my dad, my mom. We are very close to each other. In any case, so let's just move on, right? All right. So my next topic is California wildfires. What the fuck, dude? California wildfires. So this is part of the climate change. I think Bill Maher was he was talking about ticks and all these creatures, they're going to surface more because the weather is getting warmer. So he was making fun of we don't need a wall down at the southern border, we need a net to keep these goddamn creatures like ticks and all that bullshit, right? Because now the winter is shrinking and the summer is actually, well, that wasn't true in New York. Winter was so fucking long this year. I guess because it's different in New York. Maybe it's changing. Who fucking knows? But in any case, so California wildfires apparently are getting out of hand, which gives a hint. Again, I'm repeating myself about climate change. I think that's what it is. So I feel bad for the people who are affected by the California wildfires. I hope they are contained and people can actually rebuild and all that. So now this is because like hurricanes, wildfires. I think they're going to be more prevalent. And so what the fuck? Are we ready to actually tackle with that? I don't think so. Because all of a sudden the climate change is happening. And so that's wild actually. That's fucking wild. There's wildfire in California, right? All right, sorry, 49 minutes. So I don't want to go on and on about. So let's just move on. Next topic: beer being rationed in New York. In not New York. Beer being rationed in UK. Oh shit. So where did I actually read this article? Where did I read this article? Beer being rationed in UK. Let's look it up. Okay, I'm not being lazy right now. Beer, not that I'm a beer drinker, but beer being rationed in UK. Okay, so it takes me to CNN. Okay, we go. Beer is being rationed in the UK. Oh, I know where actually I read that. Beer is being rationed in the United Kingdom because of a shortage of carbon dioxide, not because UK has a drinking problem. I'm pretty sure they do, but that's not the real problem. Why they're rationing the beer to these pubs and bars, right? Apparently, there's a shortage of carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is made. The problem extends far beyond beer. Carbon dioxide is used also in soda and meat production, as well as food packaging, cooling, and storage. So apparently, the carbon dioxide production in UK and in Europe in general is on the low because they only have one ammonia plant which can produce carbon dioxide. Okay, there we go. So that's why they're rationing the beer to your pub. Or so if you're a beer drinker in UK, you're fucked. There you go. So that's my 2 cents on that one. Maybe you want to switch to something else. Switch to, I don't know, wine. Switch to wine. I mean, I'm not going to say that switch to whiskey or something like that, but maybe you should switch to whiskey. Who fucking cares about beer, right? Okay, so that's my take on that one. Next topic, Enceladus. Enceladus. So Enceladus is Saturn's one of many moons, right? And I think I read this on space.com or yeah, Enceladus. Enceladus. And oh god damn it, Enceladus. Enceladus. Okay, so here we go. So Enceladus is the sixth largest moon of Saturn. It's about 500 kilometers in diameter, about a tenth of that of Saturn's largest moon. Wait. That's not the reason why I'm talking about Enceladus. Enceladus. God damn it. Hold on a second. Enceladus life. Let me see. Enceladus. Enceladus. So no, they were talking about. Okay, so here we go. Saturn's moon Enceladus is now the likeliest place to find life. Astronomers found complex organic molecules, the building blocks of life, on the small icy moon. There you go. When a massive saltwater ocean was found hidden beneath the icy crust of Saturn's moon Enceladus back in 2015, astronomers were cautiously optimistic that this watery world could have just the right conditions to host life. Now, thanks to a new study, Enceladus stock has gone up, way up. God damn it. Oh, by the way, so Jurassic World. Did you guys watch that movie, by the way? No, I'm not into that. I might watch it at home, right? But apparently it has made a lot of goddamn money. All right, so back to Saturn's moon, right? Enceladus. I'm sorry, 54 minutes already. Using data from a dead spacecraft, an international team of astronomers has for the first time discovered complex organic carbon-containing molecules, the building blocks of life, spewing from Enceladus. The new finding is described in a paper published online June 27th in the journal Nature makes the small icy moon the most promising place beyond Earth to find life in the solar system. So there you go. You guys can look it up for yourself, because my time is precious on my podcast, right? All right, so let's just get into the next one. Hypersonic plan, right? Okay, so I think who is actually coming up with hypersonic plans? I think Boeing. Yeah, Boeing is actually producing hypersonic plans, which actually enables you to travel from New York to London in 2 hours. So what does that mean? So from New York to London in 2 hours. So if I'm going to Denver, from New York to Denver, that should also be 2 hours, right? Maybe 2 hour and change. I think that's what it should be. So yeah, you guys can look it up. Hypersonic plans that Boeing is coming up with. All right, so cannabis-derived drugs. All you potheads, are all you people who are dependent on pot because of your medical condition, which I really feel sorry for you. One of the companies, I think, was it CVS? One of those companies actually came up with the first time cannabis-derived drug. So I think which is for pain medication, right? Instead of taking opioid, you take this cannabis-derived drug, and then your pain is gone, right? I'm not an expert on that. I just came across that article somewhere. Look it up. There you go. Okay. So heavy rain Thursday, right? What the fuck, dude? So Thursday, right? Thursday. So I was. What the fuck I was doing Thursday? Oh, Thursday. Yeah. So Thursday, I kind of took. I actually wanted to take the day off on Thursday, right? But then I realized that, oh no, I had to go to work, and oh yeah, okay. So this is what happened. I have a very bad, like, you know how some clients are actually very, very rude to you, or the architects, or what the fuck it is, or the contractors. The way they talk to you, like very rude, in a very rude sense, right? And I don't want to deal with it. Okay, you want to talk to me in a professional sense? Let's be professional and all that, right? So one of the guys that I told my client that I don't want to work with this guy because he's very rude. When he calls, even my engineers are like, they don't want to talk to him because he's very rude and all that, you know? And apparently his son now is kind of upset, obviously, is that because I don't want to talk to his dad because he is rude. Now his son is like giving me a hard time, right? Because I told the client, the son actually works for the client, right? And I told the client, listen, now this guy is giving me a hard time just because I don't want to work with his dad, right? Fuck that bullshit, dude. I have a meeting on Monday. I'm going to deal with that in a very professional manner. And I'm going to say to him, I don't want to work with this guy. You know? He's upset just because I don't want to work with his dad. Simple as that, right? There we go. But in any case, so heavy rain on Thursday. So I got up and then I went to get my sandwich at the bagel shop, right? It was kind of late on Thursday, and then it started raining. Like, holy shit, dude! Like, it was like one of those like thunderstorms. I mean, I didn't hear the thunderstorms, but they were like, the rain was so fucking heavy. I don't know if you're from New York, you know how it actually rains here for 10 minutes. But the rain is so fucking heavy, dude. I ran from the bagel shop into my car, and then I was eating my sandwich, right? 2 eggs and Swiss lettuce and onions, and I was watching these people like drenched, completely drenched in like water, like rainwater, right? So yeah, that's what happened. 59 minutes, ladies and gents. Last topic, I promise, my last topic. Chipotle's new upcoming menu. Okay, so Chipotle's new upcoming menu, right? So Chipotle wants to, obviously, who doesn't like Chipotle, right? Although I haven't had Chipotle in a long time. I guess because they are kind of like spicy, so I kind of can't eat spicy food, especially in summers, because it makes your body hot, it's like, ah. But in any case, so Chipotle wants to try new things like quesadillas and what else? What was the other fucking thing they want to try, right? Quesadillas and some other like salad, what the fuck it is, right? So they're going to do that, I think, towards the end of this year. So all you Mexican-loving food people, Mexican food-loving, that's what I wanted to say. Mexican food-loving, not Mexican-loving food. Mexican food-loving people, good news for you. Quesadillas is on the menu of Chipotle, and with that, I'm going to conclude my podcast. I hope you all relate to what I said. I'll see you all next Saturday or Sunday.